Morning, guys. All right. So, this past few weeks, I've been trying to figure out how to fine tune everything that I do while I'm day trading. Right. Um, One of the things. So I was going. Let me turn this down. I have been going through all my trades and figuring out where I've been taking hits, where trades have been most stressful to me, and everything gone right. So even with me playing AJ notes, how he views the market and what he looks for, I pretty much been trying to increase and put trades in my favor to the most possible, right? I do pretty good off these trend breaks, and then I scalp them and I take them, but sometimes I get burnt, and I've been trying to fix that. So if we look at this trade this morning that I took, CarMax, right? CarMax, right? Which is one I took this morning. And the reason why was because of earnings, right? So I was looking at this and I purposely didn't sign into AJ room this morning because I wanted to see the stuff that I've been trying to pick up from him and understand how he views the market. I wanted to see if I could do pretty much the same. So I did read the earnings report. I was trying to break it down, how he breaks it down. I'm pretty sure he'll probably hear this video and he'll probably give me some kind of feedback off of it. But he haven't even talked about this trade and gave his perspective on it, which is a plus side. So once he hear it and he hears my perspective, hopefully he can give me insight on what he thought off of what I was saying. But the reason why I traded this, I traded Amazon, right? So I played with Amazon yesterday on a demo account, and the reason why I did that was because Amazon gave great range. Somebody reached out to me, was like, hey, why don't you trade Amazon? You load up on shares on these smaller tickers. If you're wrong, you get hit faster. So I tried Amazon yesterday on the demo account. I felt good, but again, it was the demo account. And the issue with that was the emotional part of it. So when it was yanking, I didn't feel the emotional part because it wasn't my money, right? So today I tried the same thing, and you guys will see, if you guys follow me on Twitter, my buy and sells, you guys see all that. I tried it today, but the yanks are so freaking crazy. I don't care what anybody says. I don't know how the guy does it, but the yanks are so crazy that it was freaking me out. I had 10 shares at one point, and that even freaked me out. At one point, I was down on 10 shares. I think 80-90 bucks off 10 shares, and it just, the yanks was so volatile, and the spreads are crazy as well. So when I had 10 shares on the table, I still was like emotionally evolved in it, and I wasn't feeling right off of 10 shares. So it ended up going away, and right when I got up like $2-3, I sold. And I was like, you know what? It's only 90 bucks. I've lost that on other trades. Why am I freaking out? So I went in again with 50 shares. And even with 50 shares, the minute I got up, I sold, left 10 shares, yanked, and I was out. So emotionally, that just told me, now that I played with my own money, I cannot handle the whiplashes of Amazon. So I, for right now, will back off on Amazon. I can't handle it. I'm telling you, I can't handle it. And all I did was play with 10 shares and 50 shares, and just the yanks and the spreads is not my type of trading. So I was trying to see if I can play around with that to see if that is something that I can trade daily or whatever the case may be for a quick buck. But with that one, I might have to slow down on. So then I went to CarMax, pulled that one up. So when I was reading the earnings report, and it pretty much said first quarter May 2019 earnings of 1.59 per share on revenues of 5.4 billion, right? The estimates was 1.49, right? So 10, right? A 10 difference per share of 1.2 billion. So they also missed on the revs by 2, right? So with that being said, one of the things AJ have said is look at the numbers, right? So I'm looking at this one. It's up, what is this? Almost 4 points, a 4-point jump, pretty much. Pre-market almost. Let's look at this. No, it's about a 3-point jump. Pre-market, market opens up and it pops, right? So in my head, typically when AJ says if the numbers aren't blowout, what typically happens is it'll gap up, right? It'll pop out the gate and then it'll pull and fill some of the gap. So that's what I was watching this morning. I did not short it because one of the other things I've noticed is I have a bad habit of when the stock is going against me, I will keep averaging in, and I just something that I just cannot control because I want to be right on every trade, and that's something else I need to fix on my end. So I do track all my trades. I see where I take hits at, where are my biggest hits, and one of my biggest hits is when I want to fill a gap. Sometimes I keep averaging in to the point I get into a hole and I have to cut the trade, and I take a nice hit on a trade. So I've backed off on that as well. So what I'm doing is eliminating where I have some of the biggest issues in my trading, and that's basically what I've been doing the past few days. So as you can see, I'm finding out where my strengths are, where I'm doing the best. So, and then one of the things that I notice I make the most profits on all these downtrends or uptrend breaks or whatever case. Like right now, this would be a perfect scout for me to go long, but I'm doing this right now, so I'm not even going to try it. So with that being said, that would be a perfect long for me. And you can see why, risk, this is why I play it, basically a fag. And then what I'm looking for is a quick pop on here to take profits. This is how I would play that, right? But with that being said, let's go back to the earnings. So the earnings, whatever, we just read the report. So I was like, hey, this is up too much. I don't think the numbers that they provided was that high. And then they missed on revs as well. So if it does pull back and fill this gap, I would take it long around this range. So now, with that being said, I understand why we're pulling. I know that why the stock is pulling. I feel as if it wants to fill the gap. If it does fill the gap and it breaks my trend, I'm gonna go long. And that's basically how I viewed it. Now I was looking here to go long, right? When it filled the gap, and this was yesterday's high. So it filled it, completely filled it to me, and then it popped. But the issue, the reason why I never went long here was because one of the things I've now started doing as well is respecting my trends and stop trying to catch the bottom basically to get into it. So I was like, hey, until it breaks this trend, I won't go long until the trend breaks, right? Because if it doesn't break it, I can get rejected and come down, which has happened to me several times, which is another thing I've been taking notes on, that I noticed that every time I get in early, because I'm trying to catch these bottoms and not waiting for some kind of trend break to show me that the stock is trying to curl, I lose money on that as well. So those are the ones I'm trying to get rid of, and those are the habits I'm starting to stop. So today I respected that as well. Pop, didn't break the trend, pulled. When it finally broke the trend, you guys can see I'm looking at it now. 83.98 is when I entered this stock, right? So we can even type it in. Let's put the mark in. 83.98, and you will see I pretty much respected everything about it. Properties, let's go put that in there just so you guys can see why I entered this one. 83.98. So look at my entry, 83.98, which is right here. As you can see, the trend break, it did pull on me a little bit, but again, I was okay with it because I wanted to manage this one, and my stops was pretty much low of day. But I wasn't probably going to give it a full 50-cent point on 400 shares. It's just not happening. I was just going to manage it. So what I did once I happened, I hurried up and slapped this trend on. So that was my stop. As long as it stayed above the trend, I was cool, right? So right when it got a pop, I mean, I was up 100 and somewhat bucks. I sold at 84.31, and then I left 100 shares, slapped the trailing stop. So another thing I've been doing is using this trailing stop. I used to do a stop limit. What happened with the stop limit, I would put a stop limit in place and be like, hey, my stop is at my entry now, and I would walk away, whatever. As long as it never came back down at my stop limit, I was fine. But the issue with that was if a stock ran up, like this one, prime example today, my stop limit was down here. And then if I came back, sometimes I'll come back and it made a nice run, and then it came right back down and stopped me out. Well, I missed out on this run. So I started doing a trailing stop. I know a lot of people have issues with it because they feel as if the market makers and all this other, but lately I've been using the trailing stop. So what I did was I put a trailing stop on it, right? And it just kept on running. So every time it ran and I felt as if it got a little extended, I would trim my position. And again, you guys will see all my orders on how I trade this. And finally, I just had 25 shares. I sold, I think, another 25 shares up here somewhere. And I put the trailing stop right back on it. 50-cent trailing stop. It actually stopped me out. And this is why I'm completely out the trade. But again, you guys are seeing it happen now. And like I said, this is basically what I'm looking for, what I'm trading. And the reason why I'm okay with taking these flag breaks and stuff like that is because this stock kind of has positive news, which is the earnings, right? So with that being said, I want to play this to the upside. I don't want to fight the trend of this one right now, and everything's moving to the upside. So that was the psychology on how I wanted to trade this one. And for me to walk into AJ room and to see his notes and to see that I was pretty dead on, feels as if that made me feel as if I am actually grasping his point of view of how he's reading the earnings report. Now, am I probably dead on what I seen? He probably read something different. I don't know. But for me to come in to see that, felt as if the money that I'm paying to be in this room, it's not about making the money to me. It's more about gaining the knowledge from him. And that's what I want out of it. And for me to knock this one out the park, and for me to adjust the style of trading. And you guys seen I'll trade square daily. I'll do a lot of these trades daily and to just be off these trend breaks, but no news behind it. So it's basically like I'm scalping and I'm taking money faster, which is, I did the same thing today, but I was more comfortable with leaving a decent size on the table and allowing it to run up on it. And that's basically how I traded CarMax today. So I am still tweaking. I am still adjusting. I am still trying to learn. Like I said, I know even me, what I'll probably do is pull back again from AJ and then go out and just trade on my own and then see what have I learned and put it to work. And that's how I grow as a trader and how I adjust my trades and how I maneuver. And listen, I'll always go back to his room and I'll pop back in once I feel as if I grasp it. Like when I walked away the last time, I walked away for like, I think it was like 2 years, whatever. And I just been putting everything I've learned from him, how to trade, how to the technicals I learned with that in his room, and I just went out on my own. And look at me, I'm nailing them. I'm doing okay on trades. Now I just want to try to take my trading to the next level. So again, same thing here. You watch this little trend break, you should be out of this trade. This was just a nice little scalp. Everything from here on out, the big run is over. You just scalp this trade. I told you right into this peak, you should be taking profits, and it pretty much worked. Take it right off into the peak and then see if you can get some, but you should have scaled out right into that. So let's just look at it. If you took it off that trend break, 87, that's a 50-cent move. So even if you took 100 shares, 50 bucks, 200 shares, that's 100 bucks. So, I mean, good money. You scalp it, get out of it, and this is what happens. Then you would have to just let it reset itself and do it all over. So basically, that's how I've been trading everything. So again, guys, I'll be posting in. I know what I can actually show you guys since it's still up. What I do is I have a Discord. I made myself, so when I screenshot all my stuff, I put it into the Discord, and then it's a way for me to get it on my phone. Once I get it on my phone, I can edit the pictures and do everything as far as the editing. I can put it on Twitter. So if you guys see it, this is all of the trades, my trades today. See 400 here, sold 300, sold another 50 at 86, sold another 25 at 86.90, and another one at 86.80. Amazon trades, I told you, 40, 10, 10, 50. So again, that was pretty much it for me. Freaked out on Amazon. I probably will not touch Amazon until I can control my emotions on that one. I might even try it with 5 shares and see how I feel with 5 shares. Even with the range that it give you, you'll probably get 50 bucks out of it, but you just have to be comfortable with 5 shares. I have to get it comfortable with. And what I do is typically keep trading certain stocks until I'm comfortable with trading them. Amazon, I am not comfortable with because of the whiplashes. I would have to figure out a comfortable size for me that one. But other than that, guys, this is the reason why and what I've been looking at. But this is the best way I can break it down, guys. I personally just continue to adjust my trading to I'm trying to get it to where, like, some days I take a hit on a trade and it can be $200, right? I don't want to take $200 hits. I'm trying to break that down to $100 or $50 hit. How do I adjust that to where I'm taking less hits, less risk, and on a certain amount of size, but at the same time, I'm getting a great return and I don't have to trade all day. So that's my goal. Again, guys, what I'm doing on YouTube is just basically my way of, I go back and watch my videos and see where I screwed up. So it's kind of like me having somewhere to store my videos, and I can always go back and watch them to see where my growth is, what I can fix, what I screwed up at. My thought process, like, I probably, from 3-4 months from now, I probably will go back and watch this video and see what have I learned from Awesome Calls in his room. If you look at his trades, I mean, pretty sure he probably killed it. Whereas if I only had 5 tickets this morning I was looking at, here's AJ, who has, going to the link. Here's AJ, who has 12 picks today, right? And some of his picks I didn't even have on my list. So to me, that's an issue, right? The CGC I had, the KFY I had, all these earning plays. But what I want to now start finding is, like, how do he determine, like, the ANAB phase 2 didn't demonstrate increased benefit, 2 downgrades. Like, I need to be able to find those and spot those. So that's another thing that I'm working on is, if I can start finding more lists on what AJ has, and I go peek around, I follow people on Twitter, and then I see their lists, I'm trying to be that one to find those. So pre-market, if I feel as if I got a good entry and I got a good feel of the stock, I get in pre-market and I can hold in it longer because I have stronger confidence of how a stock will move. So that's what I'm trying to adjust now. The videos will come out now. To me, I'll probably push out videos. If I do push them out, push them out. But more of the videos that I might start pushing out now are going to be more on the whys and taking the trade. I think that would be more beneficial because I think, like, you guys pretty much understand how I trade. I wait for trend breaks. I wait for the flag breaks, the bearish flags, and I'm nailing it and I'm scalping them. But now I want to get the majority, the bulk of the move, bigger move. I want to understand the more in depth on the why behind the trade. That's what I'm trying to adapt my trading to. The technical part, I think I'm okay with what I have and how I trade with the technical aspect of it. But now I want to put more of the news base to follow it up and to nail it out the park. That's what I'm looking for. And again, guys, AJ Room is awesome, and it's awesomecalls.com, right? Like I said, you have 12 trades, right? He tells you how they'll trade out. It's up to you to figure out how to trade it, right? Which is great. And if you're just starting, that can help you build your account, and you can gain capital to where you can at some point go on your own. It's basically what I did, right? So now I'm at a point where I just don't want to read AJ notes. I want to be able, like today, my goal was to be able to, hold on, Sky, stay upstairs. Stay upstairs. Stay upstairs. My goal now is to pretty much be able to understand the reason behind the trade on my own. Find the trades completely on my own and understand every freaking detail behind it. Look at Amazon. Like, I couldn't stay in Amazon today, right? Because there was no news behind it. So to me, it was just a technical trade, right? And look at it. So today, if I would have just stuck into this, right, I would have did great. But again, because I don't understand that it didn't have any news on it, all I can do is scalp it. Whereas if, listen, look at this move. If I had some kind of news on this, I mean, I probably would have made a killing on those 1050 shares, right? Stress-free trading, but the issue is I don't have any news behind it. Look at this flying. So I walked away with like freaking 80 bucks in total probably. Whereas if look at this. So okay. So what I'm saying is at the end of the day, I want to be able to have the news behind the trades that I'm taking so I can hold on longer. I can get a feel more of what other people are looking at and why they're trading it. So again, guys, if you guys have any questions, guys, feel free to reach out. Um, give the link a like, a share, whatever. I know today's on was pretty much long-winded, but again, this is why if I'm gonna put more videos out, I want to put the videos out so you guys can get a great feel on how and what people are looking for when they're trading. And again, like I can do the technical part of it all day because this is why I wanted to trade this long. I felt as if Amazon can push towards this 1932 today. But again, I don't have the news base or the catalyst to tell me that it can pull. Because if you look at yesterday, Amazon pretty much sold off yesterday, right? And how do I know it wouldn't have did that? Or how do I know it wouldn't trade in this range today? Yes, I can scalp it for those few cents, but you don't know. So I'm trying to get to a point where I can have better trades with news space. Over there. No. Better trades with new base, and I know how to trade it, and that's what I want. Stop playing. Do not come over here. With news base, and then I can trade and understand what I want to do. So again, guys, that's pretty much what I'm looking for and how I want to trade things, guys. So if you guys like what you're hearing, please subscribe to the channel, share, and I'll do my best to try to give you guys more insight on how traders are trading tickers, what they're looking for, and how they're picking certain stocks that they're looking for. And that's my goal on this page now. I'm trying to give you guys more of insight on how to get into trades, how to take the information that you're gathering, and how do you trade that stock off that. And I think that's where I'm going to gear this channel more. I can show you guys my P&L all day. My P&L is not going to put money here. It's just not. All it's going to be like is, how does he do it? Because I already was in that where guys were making great money. I was trying to follow what they was doing, and I was losing money. But that's because I didn't understand the move behind the trade where they did. So that's what I'm trying to teach you guys. How do you find it? Like, what are you looking for when you're reading the earnings report? How do you gauge whether or not you should be going in with size, or if you should expect a full gap, or you won't get a gap fill, or the stock could probably just run? That's what I'm going to try to gear this channel on, and trying to give you guys more of an insight news base. All right, guys, so that's basically it for me. I got to go tend to the kids. I'm not in any trades right now. So again, guys, take care. See you guys next week, and we'll be back at it. Take care, guys.